जाना निताई गौर चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
सब अवतार सर शिरोमणि
सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि
केवल आनंद कंद
केवल आनंद कंद
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताई
भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताई
सुदृढ़ विश्वास कोरी
ए सुधीर विश्वास करी
विषय छाड़िया सिर से माझिया
विषय छाड़िया सिर से माझिया
मुखे बोलो हरि हरि
मुखे बोलो हरि हरि
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
देखो ओरे भाई त्रिभुवने नाई
देखो औरे भाई त्रिभुवने नाही
ए मन दयाल दाता
ए मन दयाल दाता
पशु पक्षी जुरे पाषाण विदारे
पशु पक्षी जुरे पाषाण विदारे
शुनिया रघुर गाथा
शूनियार गुण गाथा
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
संसारे मजिया रोहिले पड़िया
संसार माझिया रहिले पड़िया
से पदे नाही लो आस
ए से पदे रहिलो आश
आपण कर्म भुंजाई समान
अपना कर्म भुंजाए श्यामान
कहे लोचन दास
कहो ये लोचन दास
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्रा
परम करुणा पाहि दुई जना निताई गौर चंद्र
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे
जय राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे
जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान
जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान
जय गौरनीताय 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 जय गौरनीताय
जय गौरनीताय जय गौरनीताय
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
शील प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रीधरदास ठाकुर महाराज की प्रेम से गौ जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन के मथुरा धाम के द्वारिका धाम के द्वारिकाधीश के पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम के जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया के अयोध्यापुरी धाम के सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान के नवदीप मायापुर धाम के गौरांग निताय महाप्रभु के युग धर्म हरि नाम संकीर्तन की all glories to assembled you all glories to assembled you all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Shri Prabhupada के श्री श्री राधारास बिहारी भगवान के श्री श्री ललिता विशाखा मात के सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की गौरांग निताय महाप्रभु की His Holiness गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज की संवेद ई भक्त वृंद की हरि हरि बोल. So we can start the Gopi Geet. Yes. Text 1. Gopya uchu jayati te dhikam janmana braja shrayata indrira शाश्वदत्रहि दयिता दृश्यता दीक्षुतावक त्वयि धृता सव स्वां विचिन्वते शरद उदासये साधुजा सता शरशिजोदरा श्रीमुषादृशा सुरथनाथ ते शुल्कदासिका वरधनिघ्नतो नेह किं वध विषजलाप्ययात् व्यालराक्षसात् वर्षमारुता वैद्युतानलात् वृषभमयात्मजात् विश्वतो भयात् ऋषभते वयं रक्षितामु।
नकलो गोपिका नंदनो भवान् अखिल देहिना अंतरात्मक विघ्न साधितो विश्वपूजये दक्षियो देवा तात्मतामुदे
हरि बोल।
विरचिता भयं वृष्णिधूर्यते चरणमीयुष्णा संप्लुतेर्भयम् करसरोरुह कान्तकामदम् चिरतदेहिना श्रीकरग्रहम् भजजनार्तिहं वीरयोषिताम् निजजनस्मय वंशनात्मिक भज सखे भव किङ्करीष्मनो जलरुहाननम् चारुदक्षय प्रणतदेहिना पापकर्षणम् गुणचरानुगम् श्रीनिकेतनम् प्रणितनार्पितम् ये पदाम्बुजम् गुणकुटे सुरगन्धिर्जयम् मधुरया गिरा वल्गुवाक्या उदामनोनया पुष्करेषणा विधिकरीमा वीरमुयति अधरसिंधुना ध्याययात्मना तवकथामृतम् ताप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते सूरिदा जना प्रकसितं प्रिया प्रेमवीक्षणम् विहरणं कते ध्यानमङ्गलम् रहसि संवितो या हृदयस्पृशः कुहकलो मनः तो भजन्ति कलसीय सुरजात् तारयन् पशु नलिनसुन्दरम् नाकते पदम् लतृप्ताङ्गुरैः सीदति शिरः सीदति शिरः। हरि बोल। परीक्षयेमि कुन्तले वनरुहानानं विव्रतावहम् धनराजहावहम् दर्शयन् दूर मनसि सहस्रम् वीरयस्मि रथकामदाम पद्मजार्चितम् धरणीमपालम् हेयमामि शरणपङ्कजम् समतमामचते रमणामस्ते निस्तु अर्पयामि।
Hare Krishna. 14:15.
Blessing?
Yes.
Yes. Suratavardhanam Shokanasanam Swarati Venuna Sushchuchumbitam Itaragavi Srvananilana Vitaraviranate Amritam Adanatam Atati Yad Bhavat Ilvananam Trutiyogate Vamapashata Kutilakuntadam Shri Mukham Jate Jada Utikshata Paksham Krita
16:17.
गौरव प्रभु क्या हुआ? अनम्यूट कीजिए मुझे अनम्यूट। अच्छा थोड़ा प्रभु डू दैट। अनम्यूट वाज आई वाज नॉट अनम्यूट। मैं 16 की तरह बोलता हूं। आप आइए अभी। नाउ यू आर अनम्यूटेड। थैंक यू। सोपानवै पात्रुबांधवान् अतिविधमयं तेषुगातः गतिविधस्त्वो कदाचित् मोहिता तवयोस्ता काश्चित् रहसि संविदं प्रच्छयोदयं परिस्फुटं प्रेमवीक्षे बहुदूराश्रियो वीक्षयदामते मुहूर्त्वा मोयते मनः।
18:19.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Prabhuji.
Gandhar.
ब्रज बनाओ कसां व्यक्ति रंग थे ब्रज हर बेलम विश्वमंगलम त्यज मनाक्षना पदस्तात्मना सजन हितृजाम यन्निसोदनम यत्ते सुजात चरणाम गुरुम स्तनेषु दीपासनैः दधीमहि खनिक्षेषु तेनाटवे मतसेनदधतेनाखि श्वेता पूर्वादिभिर्भ्रमति धीरभवदायुषाम्ना तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीरथं कल्मषापम् श्रवणमङ्गला श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Very nice. Everybody sang very nicely. Huh? So we will be keeping the, this way, one day for Prabhuji's and one day for Mataji's. Huh? Okay?
Okay, bro.
Okay. So we'll start with the text number 7. Pranata Dehina Papakarshanam Trinacharanugam Sriniketanam Fanifanarpitam Te Padambujam Krunukucheshuna Krindarichayam. So now, today, we will try to complete this verse, the last line, that is Fanifanarpitam Te Padambujam Krunukucheshuna Krindarichayam. So, why these shlokas are spoken by Gopi? So, we'll directly read from the purports of the Acharyas, and then we'll try to understand the last line, especially the lust. Actually, we'll be reading from midway and of the purport, because it's very, very long purport, and we'll try to understand the last thing what they are trying to say. So, yesterday we had already done Sri Niketanam, Trinacharanugam, Pranatadehinam, Papakarshanam, all these words were taken. So, Pandyan Prabhu, please put it on the screen. And Sneha Mata, who is reading, will start reading. Please unmute Sneha Mata also, so she can also read it. Yeah, so which page you are taking? 89, 86.
86, not 80.
No, 86. Yeah, from here. Yeah, actually we have to start one verse behind. 85, one verse behind, the last passage of the one. Yes, the last verse. Bas. In this verse, Gopi Geet.
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. Please unmute it properly. Voice is not coming.
Sneha Mata, video, please show the video.
I have to start with not able to.
Call her. By the time, if somebody is there, we can.
Renuka Mataji may be there.
Yeah, so by the time she connects, let Renuka Mata continue reading.
Renuka Mata,
I'm unmuted, Prabhuji.
Okay, so you can read in this verse of Gopi Geet.
Okay.
Last
Yes,
verse.
Prabhuji, I have it. I have the copy in my hand.
Okay, ठीक है.
Okay. In this verse of, should I start, Prabhuji?
Yes.
In this verse of Gopi Geet, the Gopis appear to speak openly, but in fact, their deep moods are hidden. Srimati Radhika is the full feature of Haladini Shakti, and the Gopis are the bodily manifestation of Haladini Shakti.
So here Acharya says that Radharani is Haladani Shakti. And we also know that there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Radharani. Radharani is the female form of Lord Krishna. And we know there are three Shaktis in Lord, basically, which is called as Sandhani, Samvit, and Sandhani, Sat. Actually, this is called as Haladini Shakti, which is called as Anandadayani Shakti. Satchidanand, we say, no? Satchidanand. So there are three Shaktis. One is eternal, one is Jnanamay Shakti, and one is pleasure-giving Shakti. So that pleasure-giving potency, Haladani Shakti, Ananda-giving Shakti, is Radharani. And all the Gopis are extension form of Radharani. Please read further.
Thus they are extremely clever in loving matters. Krishna is also highly proficient in loving matters, but the Gopis and especially Srimati Radhika are much more expert than he is. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, Krishna has admitted that Radhika is his Prema Guru. Radhika Prema Guru Ami Shishya Nata Sada Ami Nana Nitya Nachaya Udhata. The love of Radhika is my teacher and I am her dancing pupil. Her prema makes me dance various novel dances. In this connection, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela and Govinda Leela.
See, one thing you should understand. See, like these are my two hands. So, whatever Radharani bhav is actually Krishna's bhav, and whatever Krishna's bhav is Radharani's bhav. So, here the pleasure-giving potency of the Lord, we are Tatastha Shaktis, we Jivatma are Tatastha Shaktis. Then this Maya is called as Bahiranga Shakti of Lord Krishna. So, the pleasure-giving potency work is to give pleasure to the Lord. And we being Tatastha Shakti, we are giving freedom either to be given with the pleasure-giving potency or with the Bahiranga Shakti. And we as a Jivatma has chosen to be with the Bahiranga Shakti, that is the material world. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam Hetunanena Tu Kaunteya Jagadvi Parivartate. Lord says, under my direction, under my supervision, this material world is running. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti. So this Bahiranga Shakti is called Mahamaya and Antaranga Shakti is called Yogamaya. And in Antaranga Shakti, it is run as per the will of Radharani. Radharani is Krishna himself, and the main work of Radharani and the Gopis are to give pleasure to the Lord. Yeah, please read.
Record the following conversation that took place between Srimati Radhika and her friend Vrinda. Oh my beloved friend Vrinda, where are you coming from? I am coming from the feet of Sri Hari. Where is he? In the forest on the banks of Radha Kund. What is he doing there? He is learning dancing. Who is his master? Your image, Radha, revealing itself in every tree and creeper in every direction, is roaming like a skillful dancer and making him dance behind. Srimati Radhika and the Gopis are more accomplished and clever in expressing their prema than Sri Krishna is, and they employ many tricks and skills to satisfy his appetite for loving exchanges. Thus, when they tell him, please place your lotus feet on our breasts, their prema does not lessen. We previously explained Sri Chakravarti Thakura's statement that someone who directly expresses his feelings by saying, I love you, for example, exposes that his love is of an inferior quality. Worldly people may express themselves openly like this, but those who are immersed in transcendental love never speak in this way. The lover should inherently know that his beloved is full of love for him. Krishna knows that the Gopis love him. This is revealed at the end of the Gopi Gita, where he will again appear to them and say, Na paraye aham nir padya samyujam swasadhu krityam vibhutaya yusha pivaha ya mahabhajan durjana keha shrinkhalaha samrisheha tadvaha pratiyate sadhuna. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting all of domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. When the Gopis hear this from Krishna, they will ask him, why do you remain indebted to us? Just give us what we want and your debt will be cleared. When Putana tried to kill you by putting poison on her breast, you gave her liberation and a position like that of your mother. In the same way, you should also reward us accordingly. However, Krishna will reply that this is impossible. Why is it not possible for him to repay the Gopis? In some instances, prema is split among many, and in other instances, it is fixed on one object only. Here, Krishna means to say, my prema is divided, not just into millions of parts, but into uncountable parts. I have many types of devotees, Jnanis, Bhaktas, Shuddha Bhaktas, Rasika Bhaktas, Premi Bhaktas, fathers, mothers, sakhas, and sakhis. I cannot neglect any one of them, even for Srimati Radhika, who is superior to them all. I must drive the charioteer of Arjuna and give my association to Bhishma, Pitama, and Prahlada. My love is divided into many fractions, but your love for me is one pointed. You give all of your love to me, and there is none left for your children or husbands, what to speak of others.
So, okay, Mataji. Okay. So now let us try to understand this page. And here, 2-3 things are mentioned by the Acharyas, that when somebody loves very deeply, he never expresses it. It expresses through the eyes and the action. And here Acharya says the Gopis, which are manifestation of Krishna, or Radharani, and Radharani is manifestation of Krishna, each and everybody knows how to give pleasure and increase the pleasure. There is no question of saying that I love you or you love me. But then also, previously, in the previous pages, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur told that the main purpose of Gopis is to increase the pleasure and give more pleasure to the Lord in the Madhurya Rasa, in the Mahabhava. And what has happened? Suddenly, Lord has disappeared. And Lord has left them in a state of tatter. And what has happened? In this, now they are saying that we want your lotus feet. Why? Come and give the lotus feet. Like an ordinary person, they are trying to ask something. We know that they are highest of devotees. There is no question of lust. We know that lust comes when you have your desire for your own sense gratification. Nij indriya priti vancha tare dhare kam naam. Krishna indriya priti vancha tare dhare prem naam. So, these people who we know the levels of bhakti which our acharyas have given: ado shraddha, tata sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. Then pranaya, man, rag, pranaya, rag, anurag, bhava, mahabhav. And in mahabhav also there are many stages. So the last thing is already destroyed when you come at the nishtha stage. So when a lower level of a bhakta also doesn't have a lust in his heart, then where is the question of lust in the Gopis? Where is the question that they say that please come and destroy the lust in our heart? It's not there. But they are saying that in Madhurya Bhava, the Prema Rasa has to be there. And actually they want that Lord should have that Rasa, Prema Rasa, and they wanted to give that, which they have. And we will be reading in further it is said that when you take somebody or touch somebody's feet, especially when you take blessings or even you serve somebody's feet, what happens? It is said that your all all sins or all everything is gone and is taken by that person, and all good qualities of that person comes inside him and inside us, and that's why we have to take Ashirvad. That is what the Acharya says when we'll be reading further. So the gopis wanted to transfer their bhava to the Lord by taking the Lord's feet on their chest. That was the real reason. No lust is there, but they wanted to serve and they want to increase that rasa. As we know, there are 5 levels of devotees: Shanta rasa, Dasya rasa, Sakha rasa, Vatsalya rasa, and Madhurya rasa. In Madhurya rasa, the highest is the gopis. So that in every rasa, what happens? The devotee wants to serve nicely the Lord. If you take a Dasya rasa, Hanumanji wants to excel more in Dasya rasa. If you take Sakha rasa, the Sakha wants to excel more in their rasa. If you see in the Vatsalya rasa, just by seeing Lord Krishna, Yashoda Mata's or Devaki Mata's breast started pouring milk, and milk started flowing out of love for Lord. So you see that in every rasa, whichever rasa the devotee is, they want to excel. And in Madhurya rasa, it is the combination of all the rasas. Shanta rasa, Dasya rasa, Sakhya rasa, Vatsalya rasa, and Madhurya rasa. It has everything inside. So here, when 1 year before, Lord promised, when they did Katyani Vrata, that after 1 year, we will try to fulfill the Madhurya rasa. And that stage has come. And Lord, on the Sharad Purnima night, is calling, and he is doing all this act and suddenly disappears. And now they are trying to understand whether it is our fault or some our fault is there, that Lord has disappeared. And that's why they are praying. If you feel that there is some fault, please keep your feet on us, on our chest, on our breast, so that whatever the ill, everything ill is there, it can be removed. And many, many reasons are given in further when we'll be reading the purport just now, that how the gopis are giving the reasons. These 3 reasons they have given: Papa Karshanam reason, then Trina Charanugam, Shri Niketanam, Fani Paranarpitam. They are comparing why they are saying, they are building up this thing and they want the Lord's feet on their chest. So Mataji, Sneha Mata, please read further. Sneha Mata?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavastana.
Yes.
Anticipating Krishna.
Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
everybody can listen? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm just waiting for the screens to start, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Here in this verse also, Lord is saying to gopis that I cannot actually repay your love. Why? Because he says my love is divided in everything, but you gopis and Radharani has one pointed love. Their love is not divided, and that's why Lord says it's very impossible for me to actually repay your love. My love is been divided by different bhaktas, different things. But gopis, for gopis, only Lord Krishna is one-pointed love. And that's why he says it's very difficult to repay. Another thing, here we have to understand that Lord, that's why came in form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to taste the one-pointed love of Radharani. Okay, please read further, Mataji.
Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standard he sets for exemplary acts, all the world follows. Anticipating Krishna's statement, the Gopis reply with the words, Pranata Dehi Nam Papa Karshana. They say, anyone who remembers you by taking shelter of your name and pastime very easily becomes free from all sin. It has been stated several times in Srimad Bhagavatam that one becomes free from the reaction to every by taking shelter of your name and pastime very easily become free from all sin. It has been stated several times in Srimad Bhagavatam that one becomes free from the reaction to every kind of transgression just by chanting Krishna's name. And we see this in the histories of Ajamil chanting Krishna's name, and we see this in the histories of Ajamil and that of Jagai and Matai. The Gopis continue. One becomes free from sin simply by chanting your name. So what benefit awaits one who takes shelter of your lotus feet? If a person touches your lotus feet, not a trace of vice can remain in him. Therefore, because we have surrendered to your lotus feet, we are without a trace of sin. The sin will come upon me, Krishna says. The Gopis reply, if you touch with your lotus feet any corrupt person, he becomes completely free from all sin. So how is it possible that our sin will enter you? It is sometimes said that a bona fide guru has to suffer the reactions of his disciples' sin. What then would happen if he has hundreds and thousands of disciples? Will he then drown in an ocean of sin? Actually, if that guru possesses the qualities of a genuine guru, this could not happen. Not even a trace of sin can come within the proximity of a pure self-realized guru. On the contrary, if a disciple simply remembers his Gurudev's lotus feet, all of that disciple's sins and the reactions of those sins are burned. No trace of sin remains in him, and all good qualities manifest him. Even if the disciple does not remember and follow his Gurudev perfectly, his sins dissolve if his Gurudev simply wishes them to be eradicated. But for this to be possible, his Guru must be fully qualified. Just as no sin can touch Krishna's pure representative, no sun can touch Krishna. Now hearing the Gopis reply that it is not possible for any sin or impurity to touch him, he puts forward another playful argument.
So, okay, Mataji, this is the first line example they are giving, that if you feel that there is some sin, but the Gopi says that it would be sinful. Actually, the acharyas are giving different reasons that, normally to touch somebody's breast with the foot is a sinful thing, and it will be sinful. Or they are saying that it's not at all sinful. If there is some sin, whatever comes near your feet, they get purified. And they give the example of Ajamil and Jagai Magai, and any person who comes in contact with the holy men, they are free. And they also give an example of the gurus, that the guru actually takes all the sins of the disciple at the time of initiation. And here it says, if he takes all the sins, then he should also be drowning in the ocean of sins. He says no. If it's a genuine guru, is a proper following everything, he will not be touched by the sins. Like the Lord, the first day I gave the example. The sun is in the sky and the stool is there on the earth. Sun, by the power of this light and heat, dries and purifies the stool. And it removes all the unconded thing, the contaminated thing is gone away. But by that removing contamination, does the sun get affected? Never. So similarly, when a genuine guru, who is following all regulative principles properly, and there is no problem, then he will never get affected by any sins. Ulta, he will be purifying everybody. But this is of a Uttam Adhikari. But if it is not, then he will also suffer. Yes, please read, Mataji. Sneha Mata, please read.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji waiting for the list.
Yes.
Just as no sin can touch Krishna's pure representative, no sin can touch Krishna. Now, hearing the Gopis reply that it is not possible for any sin or impurity to touch him, he puts forward another playful argument. The breasts are so hard, he says. I hesitate to place my soft lotus feet there. The Gopis respond with the words, Tirna Charanugam. Tirna Chara refers to those who graze on grass. In this context, it refers specifically to cows that graze on mountain grass and where the earth is hard and full of stones and other sharp objects. You are correct, the Gopis replied. In comparison to your lotus feet, our breasts are certainly hard, but we feel that your lotus feet follow the cows as they run over the mountains to graze. They wander where there are green shoots, edges of dry grain, and small sharp stones. Yet your lotus feet feel very happy there. Why then are you not able to place your lotus feet on our breasts, which are not nearly as hard as those stones? We think you're only pretending. Krishna may then offer another argument. Your hearts contain many sinful qualities such as malice, the desire for sensual enjoyment, and so on. By my touching your body, these faults will be immediately transferred to me. Krishna's arguments are only a pretense so as to hear more charming words of affection from the lotus lips of the Gopis. But it is certainly true of this world that by one's physical proximity to sinful persons, one may become contaminated by their qualities. Just as virtues come by good association, satsanga, immortality and corruption are transmitted by bad association. Disease, for example, is carried by air and water. If he visits with someone who has a contagious disease like cholera, he may catch that disease from his breath. One may also contract some diseases simply by bathing in the same place in which a contagious person bathes. Similarly, all qualities are favorable for the development of bhakti increase automatically in one who takes the association of saintly devotee, sadhu sangha, and everything detrimental to bhakti comes automatically by unfavorable association. In this world, if someone touches another person's feet, his vices are transferred to the person he touches. A second or third class Vaishnava, whose bhakti is not so advanced, will receive the false and sinful reactions of the person who puts his head at his feet or touches his feet. On the other hand, as we mentioned earlier, if the Vaishnava is an Uttam Bhakta, this will not happen. Rather, that perfect Vaishnava will reform the person who touches his feet. If an ordinary person takes the prasadam remnants of a neophyte Vaishnava, that person will imbibe the Vaishnava qualities and the neophyte Vaishnava will imbibe that person's bad qualities. Again, in relation to the pure Vaishnava, that does not apply. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, tells a story of a man drowning in a deep river. The man was crying out, save me, but no boat was in sight. Another man standing on the river bank was watching him and thinking, I cannot swim. If I try to rescue him, he will catch hold of me and I will drown before he does. The import is that the neophyte devotee who is in the role of the guru should be merciful to sense enjoyers and try to attract them to the path of bhakti, but very skillful. If he is not careful, both guru and disciple will drown. First the guru will drown and then the disciple. One may argue that the disciple is already a recipient of his guru's mercy. So why must the guru be affected if the disciple takes his remnant? Yes, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, and all of our acharyas have said that to give Diksha initiation to unqualified persons is Nama Aparad. The scripture states, do not accept unqualified disciples. Now, in Sri Krishna's loving conversation with the Gopis, he may argue, you have no wisdom, intelligence, or discrimination, so I cannot place my feet on your breast. It is inappropriate for me to even associate with you ignorant girls. In this regard, Srila Jiva Goswami gives an additional meaning to the word Trinacharanuka. Trinachara refers to cows and other animals that have little or no wisdom. If cows are offered high quality sweets like rasgulla and rabdi, they will smell them and then leave them alone. But they always like to eat grass, even if it is dry. If cows or other animals are given a little grass on the way to the slaughterhouse, they quarrel among themselves for it, unaware of their imminent slaughter. They squabble with each other over some insignificant grass while doing nothing to save themselves. Thus, when the Gopis utter the words Rinacharudagam, their retort also has this meaning. We know that we are foolish, they say, but we are not as foolish as the cows, who do not know the difference between grass and tasty edibles. We may be ignorant to some extent, but we are more qualified than they are. You follow the cows. What is the harm in your following us and placing your lotus feet on our breast? The Gopis' mood is so deep that they weep as they speak, whereas we simply hear their words and smile. We are unable to perceive their pain in separation from Krishna. We can intellectually understand their logic and arguments to a small degree, but we lack the spiritual sensitivity to perceive the depth of their emotions. We cannot actually comprehend the exchange of moods between the Gopis and Krishna as they converse. Still, even though we lack realization, if we continue to do Anushilana, reading and hearing under the guidance of qualified Prastika Gurus, one day we will certainly acquire taste and transcendental peace. At that time, we will be able to really hear the depth of their words, and we will be able to experience their mode of separation from Krishna. Absorbed in the Gopis' repeated entreaty to place his lotus feet on their breast, Krishna next argues, I cannot place my lotus feet on your breast because your breasts are decorated with so many valuable golden ornaments. To this, the Gopis reply with the words of Sri Niketana, which have two meanings. When the emphasis is placed on Niketanam, the phrase Sri Niketanam refers to Sri Krishna's feet being the abode Niketanam of beauty, Sri. In that regard, the Gopis say, yes, we admit that our breasts are decorated with many lovely ornaments, but we know that your lotus feet are the very abode of all kinds of beauty, softness, and other pleasing attributes. They are the abode of all six auspicious qualities. We believe that our beauty has also come from your lotus feet. So we want your feet to become the greatest ornament of our breast. When the emphasis is placed on Shri, the phrase Shri Niketanam signifies that Shri or Lakshmi is the abode Niketana of Krishna's lotus feet. In this regard, the Gopis imply, if you are not willing to place your lotus feet on our bodies, why do you place them on the heart of Shri Lakshmi? She always keeps them on her heart in the spirit of service to you. If you keep them on her heart, then why not on ours? Krishna responds, why should I keep them on yours? Because we are Gopis and you are a Gopa. Lakshmi is not a Gopi. Yet to keep your feet there, having taken birth in the Gopa dynasty, we have that birthright.
So very nicely, the Gopis are trying to explain the Trinacharanugam, Sri Niketanam, and Papa Karshanam, meaning, how Acharyas are giving a very nice meaning. That Trinacharanuga sarcastic meaning is that you go behind and they do not have, they are mudhas and they fight, and then also you go behind. And we are not that much mudha, we know what are the differences. But then if you can walk behind them, then why can't you come and give your feet on our heart? Huh? And the same thing, Sri Niketanam, that you give to Sriji. Even you are Gopa and we are Gopis. So it's a birthright. So this is also a sarcastic meaning which is coming out, but how the acharyas are giving. And so another meaning also will be coming about Fani Fanarpitam. That how they are saying that if you touch, you are so weak. There is no reason to afraid. And you have already won. You have shown your heroic in by conquering, the Kaliya. So you should not be afraid about our husbands or anybody else. That is what the acharyas will be giving in the further meanings. Please read, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, waiting for the screen.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
It is a fact that Srimati Lakshmi Devi does not leave Lord Narayan's lotus.
So yesterday we discussed this story. So this is the same story which is going to come again. Please read.
And there is a reason for this. Once in the form of Vaman Dev, Lord Narayan visited the palace of Bali Maharaj in order to trick him into giving up his kingdom. Bali Maharaj's kingdom consisted of the entire universe of 14 worlds, the upper planetary systems of Bhur, Bhuvar, Svar, Mahar, Janak, Tapas and Sabya, as well as the 7 lower planetary systems. Lord Narayan retrieved an entire kingdom. In the presence of Lord Brahma and Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Narayan gave the planet of Sutala to Bali Maharaj and invited Sri Prahlad to stay for some time in Bali Maharaj's palace. Upon hearing this, Prahlad whispered something in Bali Maharaj's ear that obviously pleased him. Bali Maharaj then turned to Lord Narayan and said, "You have given me Sutaloka as my residence, and I will obey your order, but I beg something else from you. Please stay with me there. The palace there has 50 doors, and I humbly request you to be at whatever door I pass through, whatever I am entering or leaving. In this way, I will always be able to see you." Lord Narayan agreed with this, and thus he remained in Bali Maharaj's palace. Time passed, and Lakshmi began to wonder why her husband had not returned. My Prabhu left quite some time ago to trick Bali, she thought, but still he has not returned home. Where can he be? Suddenly, Sri Narad Muni appeared before her, and she inquired about her husband's whereabouts from him. Narad related what had taken place. He explained how Lord Narayan had tricked Bali Maharaj, and how Bali had in turn tricked Lord Narayan so that he was unable to leave Bali's palace. "Please tell me what I should do," Lakshmi said. Then, under Narad's instructions, Lakshmi assumed the form of an old and poor but very beautiful Brahmana lady, and went to Bali Maharaj's palace, where he was giving charity. Amid the clamor of the occasion, Bali Maharaj saw that an elderly lady had entered the palace and was sitting quietly and patiently on the bench at the back of the assembly, while everyone else was pushing forward and jostling each other to take as much charity as they could from him. The Brahmana lady simply sat silently. Bali Maharaj thought that Brahmana cannot be an ordinary lady because she is sitting and waiting for patiently. No common person can do this. She must be someone extraordinary. Descending from his throne, he approached the lady and offered his obeisance. "Oh mother," he said, "who are you and what do you want? It appears that you have a desire for something, but for some reason you are not expressing it. It seems to me that you are seeking an opportunity to see me after everyone else has left. Please tell me what you want." "Yes," she said, "I have come to ask something, but I am afraid you will not give it to me. I will give you anything you ask for." "Is that for certain?" "Yes, I will definitely give you whatever you ask for." "Yes, I give my word." When Bali Maharaj had promised 3 times that he will give her what she would ask for, Lakshmi sought further. "You must vow to give me whatever I ask for. Will you do this?" Upon hearing these words, Bali Maharaj remembered how Lord Narayan in the form of Vaman Dev had made the same request to him. "Who are you?" he asked. He remained silent and did not reply. Finally, he said, "Very well, please tell me what you want." Without saying a word, the Brahmini simply pointed towards Sri Vaman Dev, at which at which moment Balima didn't recognize her as Lakshmi. He became simultaneously overjoyed and sorrowful, fearing that he would now lose his lord. Bali prayed, O Sri Narayan, Lakshmi Devi has come to take you away, he said, but I cannot bear the thought of you leaving. Please make some type of arrangement so that you can simultaneously live here and with Lakshmi. Lord Narayan manifested a second form that would remain with Bali Maharaj, and then in his original form he returned to Vaikuntha. From that time on, Lakshmi has been afraid that he might leave her again, and she therefore always holds his feet on her lap and heart. Now, with the word Sri Niketana, the Gopis emphasize the word Sri, which refers to Lakshmi. In this instance, Sri Niketana means Lakshmi's lap is the abode of your lotus feet. They question Krishna. Since your lotus feet are the ornaments of Lakshmi's dress, why can they not ornament ours? They should become the ornament of our hearts. Krishna replies, You are begging me to do this, but I cannot. Your hearts are burning with too much heat, and if I place my feet on them, that heat will enter my feet and they will be burned. The Gopis respond with the word Pani Panartita. They say, But you place your soft, sweet lotus feet on the hoods of the Kaliya serpent, even though he was biting your chest, feet, and other tender parts of your body. You did not feel any burning sensation then. You even boldly placed your feet on his hoods and performed a wondrous dance there. So why not place your feet on our chest? Now, although the Gopis have defeated all of Krishna's arguments, he continues presenting his own reasoning and tells them, I cannot do that. I am afraid of your husband. You are not afraid of Kaliya, or so we know you cannot possibly be afraid of our husband. And even if they do disturb you, you will punish them. You just as you punished Kaliya. Te Padam Bhujam means your lotus feet. The Gopis continue. Your lotus feet have so many beautiful qualities. Trinu Kushe Chuna Sindi Rikshayam. Please place them on our breast and remove the fire of karma in our hearts. The fire of separation and the longing in our hearts will only subside if we meet with you and you perform cherishable pastimes with us. Sometimes a sick person will apply a medicinal balm or ointment externally to cure a disease inside the body. Similarly, in this verse, the Gopis beg Krishna to soothe the fire of separation in their hearts by the ointment of the touch of his lotus. The deep meaning here is that the intense heat of karma actually lies in Sri Krishna's heart, and the Gopis long for it to be released. But that will not happen unless they meet with him directly. And this is the real motivation for their proposal. When Krishna finally meets with them, the heat of karma will leave his heart, and the Gopi's state of mind expressed here will automatically subside.
Okay, so we have successfully completed reading the purpose of the acharyas. So I want now, how many have read, listened this properly, and there may be some questions arising, or they can recall. I've opened up the forum just now to everybody. What was the best thing that they understood from this purpose of the acharyas, especially the funny Arpitam thing that is lastly going on? Anybody? Which were the points that they liked in the purport, or if they were not able to understand, then we can discuss this some points. Yes, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavasana.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, with regards to this, the Gopis are saying that you are not afraid of Kaliya. How can you be afraid of a husband? Because the Lord is giving them the reason that if I place my feet on your breast, I'm scared of your husband. But then the Gopis counter answer him saying that that is not the correct thing. You're just making some pretension, and you don't want to do it, because if you are not afraid of Kaliya, how can you be afraid of your husband?
Yes.
If they disturb you also, you will be able to punish them. So you don't have to worry about it.
Actually, what is the real thing? the husbands over there never felt that the gopis have left Mataji. You know one thing the Lord created?
Yes. He extended himself actually in the form of the gopis and he was there instead.
Yeah, they actually never they felt that the gopis have left. Lord had created actually in such a way that nobody felt anything, that they had any separation.
He expanded them as the gopis and was present there
Yes.
instead of them.
No, they expanded and they were there and there also. Both places they were there. The body was there, the heart was with Krishna. And actually, we should never see on the material level all these things. The problem is that if we are not on the bhakti level, it is very easy to take this kathas on Rajagun level and Tamagun level. Huh? And then they will try to, Maryada, Man and everything. But here, that is not at all the question. We know that the gopis are actually the expansion of Radharani. And all the Brajavasis are Parshadas of Lord. And everybody has been given a certain role to be performed. So that way we have to understand that actual bhav is that if heart is burning with the pain, and if you think that I cannot tolerate, but you tolerated, the fire of Kaliya, the visha of Kaliya, so then you can tolerate the heart which is burning with the poison of separation. And how you actually jumped on him, danced on him. So similar, you dance with us, so all the poison of the separation and heat will be going down. Huh? That's why they are say Fani Fararpitam, actually. That is how they are recalling the Fani Fararpitam thing. So each and every word the gopis are saying is a connection with their feelings which are going inside their heart. So if Lord can show mercy on them, Lord can show the mercy who is not a devotee at all. Actually, it was, the Kaliyan wives were devotees. And because the wives were devotee, Kaliya got the benefit. And he got the charana of the Lord. Here, the gopis are saying that if you can show mercy on them and you can remove the heat, you can tolerate, then why can't you tolerate us? If you feel that there is some problem in a heart, then please come and dance and remove. So that was the meaning, the outer, the inner meaning. Actually, the Acharya says the deeper meaning is that the love is actually in the heart of Krishna and they want that to reciprocate. And that's why they are saying, please come and reciprocate with us. So actually, if we see from the eyes of our Acharya, we will try to understand it more. And we have to actually read more and more again and again, then only. And then we have to again correlate it with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unless and until we do not read the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela and the bhav of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will not be able to understand the Gopi Geet properly. Okay? So any other questions or any other comments which we read? Because today we are going to, finish this shloka. Yes?
4 people have raised the hand.
Yeah, what are the names?
Narad Prabhuji,
Yes.
Prabhuji, then Jaya Mataji and Shubha Mataji.
Okay, so Narad Pran Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, kindly unmute yourself. Narad Prabhuji, kindly unmute yourself. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Today I was, this Acharya's tikas are very deep and very difficult to understand.
Very deep, Prabhuji. I लगता है कि उसको पढ़ते रहेंगे वो खत्म ना हो कहानी ऐसा लग रहा है. Very nectarian.
हाँ.
Prabhuji, whatever I understood.
Yes.
That there is a competition between Gopi and Radha and Gopi and Krishna,
Yes.
they both love so much, and they are trying to pretend that I will not do this, I will not do. There are so many examples Lord Krishna is giving that I will not put my feet.
Yes.
Gopis are replying that why you do not put your feet.
Yes.
So this is going on every time. The love is increasing.
Yeah, love is increasing.
Love is increasing in every reply.
Yes.
Like Gopi said that you are the Taranhar of all these devotees.
Yes.
And you can remove the path of everybody when somebody touches your feet.
Yes.
Then you go behind the cows where the hard grass is there.
Yes.
So they are, and your Lakshmi
Sriniketana.
lies in your lotus feet, your feet.
Yes.
And you put your feet on the Kaliya Nag,
Yes.
more dangerous and hard.
Huh.
Why you can't put your feet on our breast?
Yes.
They are not as hard as those things.
Yes, yes.
This competition is going on.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
Krishna is always trying to say that how much they can go up.
Yes,
He
yes.
is trying to bring them on a higher level and higher level.
Yes.
Ultimately, Lord knows that they are in the love.
Yes, yes.
So ultimately, He will agree finally, but trying to
Reveal their love. Reveal their love to all the people of us.
an argument is such that they got some reply, and by reply, the love is increased.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that is my understanding. Acharya has very nicely expressed the meanings of all those which are not there in this purport of Bhagavatam. Also is not there.
Why it is not there? Because these purports are not written by Prabhupada.
Okay.
Because Prabhupada left, and after that the Shishyas are doing this 10 Canto and further.
And Prabhuji, one more thing you said that 10 to 10 we should not read. Because this is not for everybody to read, understand things. They may not
No, because they will misunderstood it actually. That is the problem.
That's why Prabhupada has also left it to the Acharya.
Yes,
And
yes.
to the devotees, those who are realized soul devotees.
Yeah.
This is very higher meaning.
This is all high. It is on the Mahabhav level, and we are on the Bhajan Kriya level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are not qualified for Santi, but at least by listening, we can understand the deepness.
Deepness of the love of love. How much love they had for the Lord.
Yes. And we have to be very much say 3 times Haribol to Radharani and Gopi.
Huh.
They are defeating Krishna from all the arguments.
Yes, 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 yes. Very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. Very nice understanding and interpretation. Yes, Krishna Kumar Prabhu, Krishna Bandhu Prabhu. Gandavat Prabhuji.
I am also, I don't understand some points, one of which is, now if Krishna is all opulence, everything is 100% and in full,
Yes.
it is inexhaustible,
Yes.
then why is he saying that I am distributing my mercy to everyone, whereas your focus is one point?
See what is happening. The love of Radharani and the Gopis is so much big that Lord Himself is in Ashcharya. They are His expansions, right? They are His energies. But Lord Himself is amazed by the love. And what is happening with that love? It is ever increasing, ever increasing. The love of Gopis and love of Radharani is ever increasing. When he meets last time and now again he meets, the love has increased double, triple, 4 times. So that is why he says that see what happens. Lord says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, tans tatheva bhajam. Whoever surrenders to me and reciprocates to me, according to that degree I reciprocate. Right? But now what is happening with the Radharani? If Lord reciprocates, we reciprocate 50%, Lord reciprocates. But Radharani and they reciprocate more than 100%. What?
More than 100%.
Their reciprocation level is more than 100%. So then Lord says, I can only reciprocate 100%. How much? And that's why he says that I have to become like you. And that's why he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just to taste the power of Radharani. Yeah, what is that? And what happens? Every day of Brahmaji, Lord Krishna comes once. And after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to taste the love of Radharani. Now, it is said by the Acharyas, why then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have tasted once? Why he comes again and again to taste the bhava of Radharani? It is said that when he appears in this day of Brahma, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he tries to experience all the love what Radharani has expressed, by the time the next day comes, the love of Radharani has increased double, triple. Their attraction, their love has increased. So again he comes to again taste that more love. So the problem here is the reciprocation level is 100% more than what the Lord can reciprocate. That's why Lord says it's very difficult for me to reciprocate. I have to become like you.
It's perpetual.
Yes, perpetual.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Clarification.
Yeah.
Parvashakti Mataji, Neha Mataji, Jima Mataji.
Yes. So Param Shakti Mataji.
Kindly unmute.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Danda Pranam.
Yes,
Not
ma'am.
eligible actually to ask, but I was just thinking, should I or should I not? Should I or should I not?
What?
That as the Gopis are asking for, as Lakshmi is getting his Lord's lotus feet and Kalia, can we say that were they jealous of Lakshmi ji, or like that jealousness was there, or what?
No, actually they are saying in the sarcastic meaning that if you can give to Lakshmi ji, why can't you give to us? You are Gopa. What are they? The Acharya says that you are Gopa and we are Gopis. So like the Lakshmi ji has the right, we have more right. We have more right. And actually we know that when Lakshmi ji came to Vrindavan and she was in the Belvan, the Lord actually gave the lotus feet to Gopis and not to Lakshmi ji. Huh? In Vrindavan. So Gopis are saying that why you that day you didn't give it to Lakshmi Devi, and today you are running from us. So is it that you are going to give your lotus feet to Lakshmi Devi again? So there are sarcastic meanings inside it, Mataji. Okay? Yeah. Juma Mata can now unmute it. Hare Krishna, Juma Mataji.
How do I unmute?
Yeah, we can listen to you.
Oh, she's good at it.
Again muted.
Yeah. Kindly unmute. No. Oh, yes.
Just press that.
Done.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome to our program.
Prabhuji, I have been always watching. Thursday class I watch.
Yes, Mataji. So, what is your question?
I read it recently that Madhurya Rasa includes, and you raised it again today, Madhurya Rasa from Radharani, that you explained, you told that it includes the different rasas as well.
Yes.
I need to know how is it possible. Like Radharani is like she displays the conjugal love for love. But the rest of the people like the rasas are with different people like Sakha Bhav and Mother, and like different people like Putna and all. So how is it possible that Madhurya Rasa includes all the rasas?
Mataji, when the wife is there, is it not that she is also a friend of her husband?
Possible.
Huh? We act like a friend, like a husband. Then we do not have care like a mother, like mother cares. Don't we care for their husband? And
Yes, but
and do not we serve the husband? Huh?
yes, Prabhuji.
And do not we also have sometime in the Shantaras we become silence in a relationship?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is way, if in simple word, when the wife can act like a friend, wife can act like a mother also, wife can act like a servant also, then what to speak about in the spiritual world, Mata? Okay?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Any other question from anybody? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Now, here we are talking about the conversation between the Gopis and the Lord.
Yes.
But during the Gopi Geet, the Lord was not present there.
Hey, Lord was just behind.
Okay.
Just behind. He was just behind and listening. And in a heart to heart, see what happens when you are in deep love. You know what what your opposite person wants and knows. Each and every feeling is known. This Ras Leela had gone for 432,000 crore years. One night of Brahmaji. How much?
One night of Brahmaji.
So how much did Lord may have expressed himself? Huh? In long time. As I told yesterday, the highest time that Lord spent in entire Leela is with Gopis only.
Yes.
Huh? So they know each and every hook and crook. Like, after 20 years or 25 years of marriage, we know what a husband is thinking. What, uske khali chehre pe or wife is thinking. Even though she doesn't speak, even though she smiles, even though she, by action, we can know what is going in his heart. Even though, there are many, sometimes, there are so many conversations happening between the husband and wife, and children are saying, "Ye kya ho raha hai bhai? Humko samajh mein nahi aa raha hai." But we know that the husband and what the conversation is going on. So when it is, the Radharani is expansion of Krishna. He is and all Gopis are expansion of Radharani. So inner feelings, inner talk, inner bhav, everybody knows. Iske andar kya chal raha hai. So knowing the inner bhava of Lord, they are saying all these things actually.
Okay.
Huh? You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we can say he's not giving darshan and darshan. And also I was wondering, but the conversation is happening.
Yeah.
Between the hearts. Like.
Between the hearts it is happening. Huh? Heart to heart conversation.
Yes. Very good.
Even if we cannot see the Lord, but we know that we can speak to the Lord from heart to heart, and we can express a desire. Huh? And we know that as per a sincerity of desire, he will respond.
Right.
If a local devotee like us, we have no like me, who has no standing, if he can also speak to the Lord, then what to speak about Gopis through heart to heart? Huh?
Beyond my understanding, probably. That's why the question.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
There is a comment in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yamuna Suram Patraji.
Yeah.
We are Kali Yuga Jivas, trying by understand Gopi Bhava, Krishna give me the heart.
Yes. Krishna give me the heart. Okay. And Uma Priya Mataji was there?
No, she is not telling us.
Still one person was left, no?
Yeah, one person was left. Now second person was there. 17 was there. Now 16 was there.
No, in Zoom.
Here also, in Zoom also one person is left. No.
Yeah, please unmute them.
No. Nobody is there. So everybody is not there.
Everybody has been answered?
Yes, everybody is there.
Okay. So we will try to understand little bit what our acharyas are saying. So in last 3-4 days, Pranat Dehinam Papa Karshanam Trinacharanugam Shri Niketanam Panifanarpitam Te Padam Bhujam Prunu Kucheshuna Krindarichayam. We are trying to understand through the eyes of acharyas, through eyes of the shastras, and little bit, by unqualified means, we are trying to understand and bring something deep meaning inside it. So in this way, we have completed 7 verses of the Gopi Geet, and still 17 verses are there, right? So 10 verses are still there. So we can continue. trying to understand the inner meaning, outer meaning. Huh?
Rupavilas Mataji has reached that now.
Yes, what is it?
Mataji has kindly unmute.
हाँ बोलिए माता जी.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes माता
I
जी.
just want to know कि आसलीला तो कितनी बार हुई है और अभी भी हो रही है.
हाँ.
तो इतने अलग अलग वर्णों में कहते हैं ना, अभी भी नीति वन का नाम तो मैं मालूम है, और भी कई वर्णों में हम आपके साथ जाते हैं. तो
Yes, yes. It is continuously going on in Apragat Leela. Apragat Leela, the Leelas are continuously going on. In Pragat Leela, it is not visible. There are two types of Leela. Apragat Leela.
लेकिन प्रभु जी ये फिर एक कल्प तक थोड़ी हुई, कई कल्प तक चलती रहती है.
Yeah, there are Leelas of Lord are unending, Prabhuji, Mataji. All these Pragat Leelas which are shown to us, it is just for giving the fraction of. This is all advertisement. ये सब जो भगवान कर रहे हैं ना, ये एडवर्टाइज कर रहे हैं कि जीव देखो रस एक्चुअली स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में. What? Or that is why we are caught in the material world, because the love which is meant for Lord Krishna, we are giving it for the material things. हम लोग जो प्रेम जो एक्चुअली हमें भगवान के लिए होना चाहिए, भगवान की सेवा के लिए होना चाहिए, वो हम दे रहे भगवान ये भौतिक वस्तुओं के लिए. ठीक है.
हाँ जी.
तो ये एडवर्टाइज कर रहे हैं भगवान कि प्रेम वास्तव में होता क्या है, और आप मेरे हो, क्या हो. ओके. ठीक है. Anybody else, Prabhuji? So we'll end the YouTube stream, and then again we will be meeting for 8th verse. And 8th verse will be more interesting because Valgu Vakyaya, you know that word is there. Madhuraya Gira Valgu Vakyaya. So what used to Lord speak in which rasa, that will be the topic of discussion in the 8th verse. Okay? So we'll stop the YouTube. Okay. Hare Krishna.